Hey everyone, welcome to Happy. In this video we're going to feature two different types of little mini greenhouses. This little girl and the longer one that's behind me. We picked them up from Amazon. They're rather inexpensive. We're going to talk about why we're using them, what plants we've selected to put the mini greenhouse over, and what we're doing to make them wind resistant. I can see that that's going to be a major problem for these little pup tents, mini greenhouses. Welcome to Happy.
Hey, wait.
This is one of our little mini greenhouses that we have in place. So they have a cool little zipper, very simple. Bam, bam, bam. And voila, we have a little guava plant. The little mini greenhouses come in a little bag like this, and included in the bag are instructions in case you need them, and these rather very small posts. These will work for you if you have literally no breeze in your backyard, never mind wind. We're gonna turn those into something, I'm not too sure. Anyways, cool little container. These are folded up, kind of cool like that, and then they just sort of pop open. Now they want to kind of bend back to the position they're in when they're folded up. But we'll show you how we anchor these down and make them rather wind resistant. Both types of greenhouses, whether it's the long one or the short one, have these little flaps. See that little flap? And that flap is what lays flat on the soil. And that flap is just big enough to get something like a brick on top of the flap. Or over here, I improvised with these 1 gallon containers. I just filled them up with water. The other thing I did was I piled a lot of wood chips over around the edge of the tent, and that's to prevent wind from getting up underneath the mini greenhouse and starting to push the greenhouse upward. These anchors that come with it really don't work in our soft soil. I mean, our layer of wood chips is that thick, never mind the super soft soil underneath it. So the anchors won't work for us. And the other thing I noticed is the minute I put the tent in place, liquid started beating up on the inside of the tent. That liquid seems not to get onto the leaves of the plant, which I like because I was thinking maybe beads of water would freeze at nighttime. I'm sure it's below 32 underneath here, but the plant looks fantastic. Now, guava normally looks fantastic at this time of year. Right now it's November. It's really January and February here in North America, in the Northern Hemisphere, where plants get their asses kicked from the cold weather if they're at that zone threshold. You pay a ton of money for these plants. We just need them to turn the corner in their first, maybe second year in the ground, and then we're confident the plant's gonna take over from there. I bought a pack of 2, so they were as cheap as I could get them, roughly 15 bucks a pop. I think it's really worth it. These guavas are now $60 each. I really like these little mini greenhouses. Easy, super easy to set up, easy to anchor down, and they're very, very efficient, especially if you're only covering one plant. This is the longer mini greenhouse. I believe it's 71 inches across, and you will be amazed at how many plants will fit inside of her. But also, she's got a really wide profile to the wind, so securing this sort of greenhouse, one with big profile to the wind, will take a little bit of work. Assembly is very straightforward. Really look at the picture and kind of find the pieces and fit everything together. This video doesn't show that part. One recommendation I would make is on the ends of the bars that you fit into these plastic couplings, spray some WD-40 or some oil into a rag or a paper towel and just wipe the part of the metal bar that needs to slip into the plastic coupling. I think disassembly will be much easier if you do that. I kept it lowered or kind of sunken so taller plants can fit in here just fine. When I lined the edges with logs, I just made sure it was that the bars underneath the greenhouse lined up on the boards. So this plant here can actually be a good 14 inches taller and still fit inside the greenhouse. So to anchor it down, I'm going to use these little clips that you use in electrical applications. This is something where you would have like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch pipe, and you would hold that pipe up against the wall. That's all that is. But what we're going to do is screw this down to here with this bar in place, and this is going to be totally anchored on the windy side. So let's flip it the other way and get to work. That can stay in there. Just for context, I'm actually going to close the greenhouse on myself so I can sit up perfectly fine inside underneath this greenhouse. Now don't forget, this area here is sunken. That one's too small. See, that's a little guy. I don't think we need it tight. In fact, if it stays loose, this whole greenhouse can roll up the way it is right now, like a hinged door. Okay, find a good part on the wood. Spread them out a little bit. Don't put them too close together. I'm just gonna do 2 because this is gonna stick plenty well. Okay, check it out. Woo! She rotates right on the spot. Just 2 of them. Don't go crazy. Okay. Woo! That is awesome. Give you a quick idea. This looks weird, but I just see the opportunity. This is the greenhouse. Isn't that cool? Now the zipper's on the outside, so don't turn this into a tent, or be flexible if you do turn it into a tent. But that's enough. I'm 220 pounds, 215. And you get in and get out just fine. Cardboard. I saved this from a shipment. By dumb luck, it fits in here. This is the Tasmanian. Isn't she beautiful? The Tasmanian Mountain Peppercorn plant. I mean, I think she's just absolutely fantastic. Guava. Short plants to the front. This is elderberry. She'll do fantastic no matter where she is. I've not grown pineapple sage before, but right now I'm a little more concerned about prickling action and pricking the plastic than anything else. This is our bay leaf tree. Doesn't she just have outstanding leaves? We grew her in semi-shade. That's why we want you to subscribe to our channel and learn our tricks and what we learn. One year I had her in a very, very sunny location. She did not do anywhere near as well as she did this year underneath a peach tree in a semi-shade spot. She's buried in the soil up to that location. One root came out the bottom. It's not that big of a root. Tent closes perfectly fine. For now, what we're going to do is put down some brick over the edge. Now, you have to be careful not to prick the plastic, so I'm laying this down very carefully. It is cheap plastic. So I'll continue lining the edges with the brick. The two end sides will maybe get 2 brick each. And now this is fully prepared to have wood chips poured over. Lots of wood chips poured over the edge of the plastic, up high. Don't throw the wood chips against the plastic. I'm sure there'll be some pricking and poking going on. Be mindful, pour in front of the plastic and then maybe scoot it in. We want to seal up opportunities for wind to get up underneath this plastic. So like the smaller tent, this has actually 2 doors and they're the exact same program. Bam, you have lots of access to grab a plant, bring it up and down through here to inspect inside. This pail ended up being the stop for the greenhouse as we rolled it back. I was really surprised at how big this thing was. It came with 2 covers and I think it cost something like $52, something along that line. Will this last year after year? Very, very doubtful. Can't speak to these plastic couplings, blah, blah, blah. But I think if you disassemble it within a few months, like in March and April, particularly April, store it carefully, I think you could get 2-3 years out of this plastic. Of course, the sun really beats the hell out of plastic. That's the nature of things, but for us, we'll be using this in the winter. Well, this is going to be a bonus mini greenhouse. I just popped up this big boy just before Christmas. Big storm coming in. We're going to show you how we anchored her down really, really good. So I picked this frame because it was just tall enough for this Loquat. It works out really well. This is a greenhouse that comes with shelves right here. The shelves are laying on the ground right there. We won't be bothering to put in shelves. What I'm going to put is a guava plant on that side and a guava plant on that side. This is the windy side. By chance, I'm harvesting these big chunks of sycamore logs. So I set one right here. I literally screwed the frame to this log. Just a couple of braces. And on this side here, I got the plastic gently placed underneath the brick, and then we're going to put another layer of wood chips over this whole edge. So that edge is going to get slammed by wind. This edge is going to get slammed by wind. We'll fill up this area right here with wood chips. We're good to go. On this side, the downwind side, we'll get a little bit of wood chips down in here. And it'll look something like that when we're done. On the inside, I used some cinder block I had on the inside, but on the windy side of the frame, I got cinder block laying over over the frame. Again, we won't be doing the shelving, but they make for a wonderful place to put cinder block down on. That's the downwind, or that's the windy side. Well braced. You get these silly little things in here. Now, I'm not really good at tying. That's kind of sucks. But you get this really good quality nylon. I don't think this connection is going to be the world's strongest. The way it's stitched to the plastic, this is not a long-term thing. One thing you want to be mindful of is snow coming down on this and weighting it down instead of rolling off. So the plastic was just rolled out today. It's a little lumpy and bumpy, and snow or icy snow may kind of cling to that and weight it down. That's a no-go. So when you use these tethers, you sort of want to be spreading the plastic out a little bit so we can get as much snow rolling off of this as possible. That's our Loquat. We're gonna see how she does. That's that fine, beautiful growth on her. She just looks terrific. And if we can just keep her from getting totally zapped by the cold weather, there's a snowball's chance in a warm spot that she flowers. Little bit of an update. That cold front is coming in and it's really windy today. This girl is holding up just perfectly fine. She can withstand a shit ton of wind. One thing I noticed, two things I noticed is I don't have quite the same condensation on the inside as I have on the smaller mini greenhouses. I suspect that has something to do with the zipper not being as tight as possible, or something going on anywhere on the seal in here is not ideal. And that allows some heat to escape. Little note to self, and a trick that we're gonna try is get us a little candle and burn that little candle inside of this when it's super cold. A little bit of heat makes all the difference, just like they put smudge pots out in, like in Southern California, was in fields of orange trees. I hope you enjoyed this video. Even if you didn't enjoy it, please hit the like button. You made it this far. Much appreciated. We hope to just show you what we're doing out here and to plant some seeds, excuse the pun, and give you some ideas of what's working for us and also what's not working for us. We are a no-nonsense, no BS situation, whether it's a YouTube channel or an awesome website. Take care of yourself. Take care of someone else if you can. Love you. Bye.